Hey guys, Von Fry here. This week in the Spoiler Zone we are looking at Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo remake, and The Adventures of Tintin. And if time permits, I'm even going to tell you a little bit of a secret about 3D that the movie theaters don't want you to know. Stick around, you just might learn something. Spoilers! Now, Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows. I did not see the first Sherlock Holmes. I had a lot of ideas about how it was going to be different than what I feel Sherlock Holmes is about. A cerebral over brawn man. It was a fun movie. In hindsight, it was maybe the most fun of these four films. I have some issues with it, of course. The chase scene involving the big gun. When this is going down, you got this assassin guy who was like the top shot in the military. He's chasing him, and there's this weird point of view thing. It's hard to describe. It almost looks like he's swimming in a sea of background. Like, I'm going to try to demonstrate here. So, imagine you're running, and you're doing this instead of actually running. That's what it looks like. That's what actually happens in this movie. And I just think that's a little too weird, to be honest with you. There's other things that kind of bother me. I don't think that Robert Downey Jr. sounds particularly British. That's not a huge deal, but I mean, I look at Jude Law and I think, wow, could that guy look any more like Sherlock Holmes? And somehow he's Watson. I kind of imagine Watson being like a little heavier, I guess. And also Sherlock Holmes dies, or at least he should have, and then he doesn't. And I don't know if even he can explain how he survived this fall. It's just a little too strange. Moving along, the next movie I saw was Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. I feel like I'm on freaking crazy pills because evidently screenwriting is dead. When you make an action movie, you say, look, these are some things I want to accomplish, and this is the bad guy, and I'm putting this good guy in this situation to solve the problem. A lot of that gets lost. And I think what's happening here is anything J.J. Abrams touches has abysmal writing, is the key ingredient. So J.J. Abrams being listed as like a producer means this story's not going to make any sense. It's going to be a fun ride, and you're going to make some sacrifices to your intelligence, but ultimately it's not going to add up. So the bad guy, okay, I'm using Mission Impossible 3 here for an example, because first of all, I seem to be the only person who likes Mission Impossible 3. That movie has this thing, the rabbit's foot. You don't know what it does, and I like not knowing what it does. It sounds scarier that way. This movie, though, Mission Impossible 4, has nuke codes. That's the most original thing they could come up with. They waited all this time, have Tom Cruise half near retirement, living in a nursing home, and somehow looking this good, and that's what they came up with. Oh, he stole nuke codes. No, give me the rabbit's foot. That's better. The bad guy in this, he does nothing. He has 3 lines the entire movie, and he never does anything menacing. The bad guy always needs to be like, well, you mess with me, this is what happens to you. You know, I rip your legs off. I feed you to sharks. That's what bad guys do. This guy shows up at your house and sits down and eats dinner with your family. That for all I know. Crap. It's also Mission BMW commercial. So anything aside from this Range Rover, It's like a Defender 90, okay? Anything other than that Tom Cruise touches becomes a BMW. A car hits him, it's a BMW. You need to jump into a car to chase that car, you grab the new BMW. Do you need to launch a BMW off of an automated parking garage instead of taking the ladder? I would take the freaking ladder. There's got to be a ladder. Someone built that thing, right? So there you have it. That's Ghost Protocol there. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Probably the best Swedish remake in Hollywood this year. Hopefully the only one. I don't know what the deal is with this trend of, hey, Swedish people, you can't really make a movie, so why don't we try making it for you when theirs was fine. It's a better produced version of a movie that's like 2 years old or something. I think it even came to the United States in like 2010. So that's all you get there. Anybody who says that, no, it's so much different, Fincher did this, and he set up a few scenes early on to pay off at the end. He made it like a 45-minute end to this movie. That's what, you don't need to go see a movie that takes place over a short period of a few days that lasts 3 hours. I'm sorry. 3-hour movies show someone's birth through their death. That's a 3-hour movie. So knock yourself out. I bet it's not doing that well as far as revenue goes. No one wants to see a movie about torture and rape and killing women around Christmas time. I would have set the movie in America for one thing. It's a Hollywood remake, and they even set it in the same place. They have some bad accents, particularly, like, Daniel Craig just sucks. I'm tired of this emotionless assassin badass going around thinking he can act in everything. Rooney Mara, her accent's really good, but I don't think that being a stripper qualifies you to win some acting awards. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. Daniel Craig is just too cool under pressure. There's a part where he gets knocked out with some gas and then he gets hung up like a fish in the market, and he's just like, nope, M's gonna come here any minute now. You wait and see. Q Branch is gonna save me. Like, that's kind of like the thing that's going through his head. He's not like whimpering or even that bothered by it. What an a-hole. Now the Adventures of Tintin. How do I put this nicely? Steven Spielberg is trying to get in on everybody's good graces here by making up these fluff movies and releasing them at like the same time. I'm not seeing Warhorse because I have a really good idea what's going to happen. It's going to be set up to pull at the heartstrings with a whole lot of cliches, I guarantee it. And Tintin, we knew this movie wasn't going to suck, okay? We, the film-going public, knew that this was probably going to be okay. That, like, what could go wrong here? So Tintin looks different. Big whoop. Thank gods of Hollywood we don't have an origin story here. He starts out with a collection of mysteries he solved, and I applaud that. That's cool. But, I mean, the mystery here is about this unicorn ship. What is the ship doing on the market? How did this, like, poor guy get this ship that everybody wants all of a sudden? I don't know. Maybe I should know about that. Another thing. This is a story about hunting for treasure. At least at the halfway point, we establish that we're looking for treasure, or we're trying to stop somebody from looking at treasure. The movie starts with a really awesome, more 3D-like Catch Me If You Can intro. And of course you got the John Williams score, and yeah, he's awesome. But I don't understand why we couldn't end the movie that way. The movie ends with them saying, well, we got a treasure to look for. Dun-dun-dun. Roll white on black credits. Why can't we have an animation of them finding the treasure? I know this movie, this one I'm about to mention here, Skyline, gets a lot of heat. But that movie did something pretty cool at the end in showing a further, like, hey, we ran out of money, so here's some stills of what we have planned left for for the end. And it sort of created an end that you watch during the credits. That's what I would have liked to see here. Why are we hunting for treasure and not finding treasure? At the very least, have the animation from the beginning of the movie show us the freaking treasure. And yeah, I saw it in 3D. I did see it at the Better Theater in town. And, okay, so here's the deal about that. 3D is a waste of money. And if you go to a cheaper theater, I found this out a while back. A few weeks ago, I tried to talk about it, but I got cut off by YouTube. So if you're still listening to me, thank you. There's lenses that have to be replaced in these projectors, and the movie theaters go cheap, and they don't buy the non-reflective lenses, so you get double images across the screen, and it completely ruins the 3D experience. If the movie's not shown in 3D, you don't deal with this problem. Do you see the point here? When you bring in more projectors, you get more problems. I'm watching Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and the projector actually stopped at halfway through the movie. And then they fired back up. It took us 10 minutes to get back to where we were. So digital is not the answer if this sort of thing happens to everybody. Lastly, as far as movie stuff goes, at Ghost Protocol, I paid actually I had my dad pay $16 to see it in IMAX. Oh, IMAX. This a-hole Warren, he's got this theater. They call it the world's largest IMAX theater. Wrong. The world's largest digital IMAX theater. Digital IMAX is not designed for a screen this size. I didn't actually see The Dark Knight Rises prologue that I thought I was going to watch. I got the trailer and I thought, well, they screw up and play the trailer in accident. No. Christopher Nolan wanted those only shown at IMAX theaters. IMAX with film. Digital IMAX doesn't have near the resolution of the film IMAX. And yet they have a huge theater here in Wichita, and they don't tell people that you're not getting the real deal. Welcome to Wichita. I also want to say thank you guys so much for listening to Heidi and the Jerk, and the 0 of you who left reviews on iTunes, even though I asked. We didn't have an episode the last couple days because blame Annette for that. Actually, there weren't a lot of new shows. There were some finales. We're going to talk about those later. Tonight, I'm meeting her for bowling. I'm going to whoop her butt, too. And that's really about it. So, also, if you're checking out the reviews, for the love of God, please leave some comments on my website so that people find those in search results. Okay? You got to have comments if you're going to appear in search. How can I tell if you guys are watching the review still if there's no comments? You leave some comments, like on Facebook, and it'll post it on Facebook and share it with your friends, and then people might actually see what the heck I'm doing, which would be nice. So, that's all I gotta say about that.